fact, it's that time again, isn't it? I could literally say this every hour of the day, 365 days a year. That's how intense the never-ending propaganda and PSYOPS campaigns that are waged against me, Stephen Bell, to entire populations, not just here in Denmark, but over huge portions of the world, who are being indoctrinated and propagandized on a daily basis. And as I have said thousands of times before, I find myself, if you will, in air quotes, being the protagonist in all of these propaganda campaigns that are being fabricated and broadcasted by a conglomerate of intelligence agencies and states who run the program. The program is and has always been a social engineering and intelligence operation, primarily run by the United States government and its intelligence agencies, in collaboration with the Danish government and even the British government and their intelligence agencies. Here in Denmark, I am such a persona non grata that nobody in the population are allowed to have organic interactions or conversations with me whatsoever. These are rules and regulations that have been implemented through the years that the program has been running. And the states, or the state arbiters as we should call them, who are running the program, have implemented all kinds of arbitrary rules and regulations. So these rules and regulations are being dictated and commanded over the program's communication system. The program's primary communication system is this synthetic telepathy communication system. Basically, it's an electromagnetic signaling system that can perpetuate signals that are interpreted by our central nervous system and brain, and people understanding what is being communicated as if they were being spoken to, without there being any sound. And this is the primary method of the state arbiters of communicating to the public. And they also are using other propaganda means. For example, they love to use their virtual movie fabrications. So they're literally creating these virtual movies which are typically broadcasted when I sleep. And as I have said many times before, I find myself being the so-called protagonist in these propaganda campaigns, without me having any involvement in them whatsoever. For example, when I'm sleeping, I can't really at the same time be involved. That is just physically impossible. And nor am I mentally involved in these propaganda campaigns. The times where I am allowed to see what is being propagated or being broadcasted, if you will, it is always as watching some kind of film, or in your mind, if you can imagine watching something being played in your thought process. That's how I see these virtual movie fabrications that are being propagandized to huge portions of the world each and every day, as I say. And on a daily basis, this conglomerate of states and intelligence agencies are fabricating these propaganda campaigns and broadcasting them and trying to sell it as if I am the actual protagonist in real life, and trying to palm it off as something that is actually happening in real life, while it's completely fictitious and fabricated. And one of these campaigns were broadcasted yesterday, and let's see what the date is. So yesterday was the 13th of April, and one of these campaigns were being broadcasted, and it was being sold as if I was involved, and if the propaganda campaign was not actually a propaganda campaign or virtual movie, but instead a real event, which it obviously wasn't. It was completely fabricated and fake, broadcasted by the very same state arbiters who are claiming it to be reality. And this is their primary method of substantiating their false claims, is by fabricating propaganda and running non-stop psyops. And it's so ridiculous that I'm not allowed to do anything that shows that I'm a functioning human being is being prohibited. So while I run my small business, One Stop Engine Shop, which is successful in the sense that I have lots and lots of interest, and I have many people willing to buy my wares, scooters, engines and parts. I also have people I also have a, what do you call it? I'm not in the red. I'm in plus, you know, despite not having very many sales, because I'm so sanctioned. I'm still earning money despite all of these things that are going on. And so these are things that are being controlled. I'm also doing a motorbike driving license. I'm going to my test here on the 21st of April, and that is something I'm most likely going to pass. I'm going to a court case on the 20th, the day before, because I'm suing somebody who went back on their deal. I last year was going to buy a Rottweiler with a pedigree, and we signed a contract and everything, but as you know, the government here in Denmark and its intelligence agency, PET, sabotaged every single thing that I involved myself in. So I had to sue the other part of this agreement, because I wasn't about to let that slide, waiting months and months and months and being palmed off like some fucking idiot. So I'm going to court, and obviously I have a really good case, but under these circumstances, it's not exactly a fair. It's not going to be a fair case by any stretch of the imagination. I couldn't imagine. Let me end it with that. So I haven't been speaking about this because it's an active case. So I'm going to leave it at that until the case has transpired. But another thing which is also constantly sabotaged, along with my small business, one-stop engine shop, and every other thing I involve myself in, is my Muay Thai and boxing training. And I have only recently begun again because I have been quite busy, and so I haven't had time to do my fight sports. And as soon as I go back to my training, the state again is running these propaganda campaigns and coercing other members to try to create problems or try to make a sparring session go out of control, just all in the hope that they could manufacture some pretext for my dispulsion, or whatever you want to call it, for me not being able to train there anymore. So there's always something going on that is meant to sabotage my life, and is always meant to create the image that I am just this completely out of control person who hasn't got anything going for myself whatsoever, but in fact is the entire opposite. The government has to sabotage everything that I do. The government has to prohibit people from having interactions with me. The government has to completely put me and my business under sanctions, because I'm not allowed to have any success. So the entire situation is so coerced and controlled by these state arbiters who run the program, that none of it that is being projected outwards is actually authentic. It's completely micromanaged, and it's completely fake and fabricated. Even those parts who are partially realistic, because they do have some real life events in their propaganda, just to make it more realistic. I'm not saying that any of their false claims and allegations against me are true, because I wouldn't even be able to tell you that, because I'm never made aware of what they are actually labeling me guilty for outside of the rule of law. And instead of these things, they're just saying that I have no memory. Yeah, but if I have no memory, why isn't there any official police records that are reminiscent of what is being claimed against me to the world on a daily basis? So what I'm trying to put forth here is that everything is completely and utterly different to what they are constantly propagandizing their millions of viewers and listeners with all across the world. And there's literally nothing I can do about the situation other than make videos and other to be seen by my peers here in Denmark, and that's literally it. And these things, as I have said many times already, are being sabotaged and attempted to be made impossible for me. And so that's literally what is still going on today.